Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I'm your host, and today we are absolutely demystifying what I know is one of the most frustrating parts of the PTE exam, the reading drag and drop blanks. We're going to break this whole thing down, make it super simple, and show you exactly how to tackle these questions with total confidence. So tell me if this sounds familiar. You're staring at a paragraph, panic is starting to set in because you don't understand half the complex vocabulary on the screen. The clock is ticking down, and you just feel stuck. Well, listen closely to me right now because I'm here to reassure you of an amazing secret. You absolutely do not need to understand every single word in that passage to get a perfect score. Seriously, no way. You just need a strategy. Okay, let's dive into this. Based on some incredibly helpful advice shared on Reddit for PTE test takers, there's a proven 4-step smart guessing method we can use to just crush this task. Step 1. Always do the easy blanks first. Fill the ones you're 100% sure about. Step 2. Search for grammar clues. Like, check if the blank needs a noun, a verb, an adjective, or a preposition. Step 3. Spot collocations. Those are common word combinations that just stick together naturally in English. And finally, step 4. Use elimination. Removing the clearly wrong options makes guessing the right ones so much easier. Today we're going to use this exact method to solve real passages together. Section 1. Walkthrough 1. Building a house. Let's get right to it. Are you ready? Because we're jumping straight into the trenches right now to solve our first full-length exam passage. We're going to apply these strategies in real time. Now, I want you to treat the screen right now exactly like your actual exam interface. Take a quick second to scan the context of the whole passage without stressing about the blanks. What's it about? Well, it's about customizing a home. That's a positive, constructive topic, right? Keep that positive tone in the back of your mind as we go line by line. Let's isolate that very first sentence. One major blank of building your own house is that it gives you more room for customization. Pay really close attention to the phrase one major. That immediately tells us two things syntactically. First, we need a singular noun, and second, because the overall context is good, we need a positive noun. Thinking aloud together as we scan our word bank. Well, we can instantly eliminate plural words like issues. We can cross out negative words like down or verbs that just don't fit grammatically like decide, go for, and choosing. So, what are we left with? Benefit. One major benefit is literally the only logical grammatical choice here. See, one down, easy. Let's move right along to the next blank. You get to blank how many bedrooms and bathrooms there are. I want you to ask yourself a super quick grammar question. What verb form always fits immediately after the word to? If we evaluate our remaining options, we see the word choosing. Now choosing ends in ing, which completely breaks the grammar rule here. I mean, you would never say you get to choosing. So by simple elimination of improper grammar, we select decide as the correct action. You get to decide. Perfect. Let's keep the momentum going. Read the next part. Such as a home cinema or an indoor pool if you're funding blank. And this brilliantly illustrates the power of grammar clues. Notice the subject right before the blank. Funding. It's a singular subject. That single observation instantly gives away the answer. Because funding is a singular subject, our matching verb must have an S at the end of it. Checking our remaining list, permits is the only option that has that necessary S. So the phrase is if your funding permits, which really just means if your budget allows. Notice how we didn't even need to deeply analyze the meaning there. The grammar rule pretty much made the decision for us. Okay, next up. You can also choose to use higher quality materials so there will be less maintenance blank in the future. Let's use some basic logic here. If you're choosing to use high quality materials to build your house, what exactly are you trying to prevent? You want less of something negative happening later on, right? If we check our word bank, dropping in down or in is grammatically incorrect. Less maintenance down in the future makes zero sense. But check out issues. That is the exact negative plural word we want less of. Less maintenance issues. It just fits completely naturally. Alright, let's group the final two blanks together because this is where you can really rely on familiar natural English phrases. If you blank energy efficient options, you may be able to save thousands of dollars in electricity and gas costs. Blank the line. Take a second. What natural English word pairings actually complete these dots? Let's solve them rapidly by trusting our ear for the language. When you opt for something, you naturally say you go for it. So if you go for energy efficient options, for that last one, it's a super common everyday phrase that means in the future, you save dollars down the line. Just like that, you scored a perfect 6 for 6 on this passage using smart guessing. Awesome job. Moving on to section 2, walkthrough 2, data entry and collocations. Take a second to celebrate that win. You just passed the first test with flying colors. Now we're going to turn the heat up just a little bit. We're introducing our second passage focused on data entry. And this one is going to specifically test our knowledge of word pairs. Remember the incredible advice from our Alpha PTE source material? Collocations are basically words that stick together like magnets. Native speakers use them without even realizing it. Our primary job in this passage is to spot those magnetic collocations hiding in the text. It's hard to get anywhere in the data entry field if you do not blank your customers with all the services they need. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the verb we choose must logically link to the action of giving services to customers. And it absolutely has to fit with the preposition with. Checking our options, take, working, don't. We can eliminate all of these right out of the gate because they are grammatically completely incorrect. I mean, you don't say working your customers with or take your customers with, but we can easily and confidently drop in provide. You provide your customers with services. It's a perfect match. Moving to the next phrase. It's important that you blank your time to really care for your customers. I want to prompt you right now. Use your instinct. Don't overthink it at all. What verb naturally, magnetically pairs with the phrase your time? If your instinct immediately shouted take, you are absolutely right. Take your time is a classic everyday collocation. It makes take the undeniable answer here. Saying working your time or don't your time just sounds incredibly wrong to the ear, doesn't it? You take your time. Now, I want to stop and teach a really crucial lesson straight from our tutor transcript for the next blank. The text talks about a range of tasks, and students constantly debate whether it should be huge range or wide range. Here is the golden rule. Huge is used for physical size or physical amount. Wide, on the other hand, is used when talking about variety or options, since a range of tasks obviously implies a variety of different things to do. Wide range is the correct collocation. Lock that rule into your memory. Okay, we've arrived at the trickiest blank of the entire passage, where students always seem to get tangled up. The sentence reads blank. You are ready to start your data entry business. It's time to start building a great team. The options left are once and if. So which one actually fits? So the crucial point is understanding the grammar structure happening here. If we used if, we'd be creating a condition and we would need a dependent clause. Something like, if you are ready to start, you must do X. But there is no conditional dependent clause here. The sentences are actually flowing as a sequence in time. Because of that, once, which acts as a time-based marker, meaning at the point in time, that is the only correct choice. Once you are ready to start, it's time to start building every single day. Use these smart guessing techniques we talked about. Find the easy blanks, use grammar clues, spot collocations, and eliminate bad options. Don't memorize blindly. Practice applying the logic until it literally becomes second nature. Which leaves me with a final provocative question for you to ponder. If you can master the art of guessing smartly and systematically conquer this test, what other impossible challenges in your life can you break down and conquer? Keep practicing, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe to my channel.